We are on week 5, and the week 5 assignment has you doing a paper on different types of research designs that have been illustrated in this text. And one of the things that they're asking for you to do is what type of sampling method would you employ? When I looked at that, I thought, you know what? We need to really know what those sampling designs are. So I decided to put the PowerPoints on here. And then as I was putting PowerPoints on for chapter 6, which is your sampling chapter, I thought, oh, I might as well give you them all because, quite frankly, I think it'll help you. Um, and I thought, why not? You can have them all. So I put all of the PowerPoints in, but chapter 6 I want you to go to for sure because it goes into sampling designs. And it talks about what sampling is, and it's important to know what those are. So remember, it's a process of selecting observations, and it's often not possible to collect information from all units you wish to study. So it goes into a little bit more. It talks about the definitions. You know, I'm a huge believer in definitions. It talks about terminology, the sample element, who, what, or are we studying? Who is a student? What are we, is it a whole group? Is it the college freshman? It talks about the population parameters, the summary description of given variables in a population. It talks about sample statistics. Um, it goes on to um, stratification, modification to random and systematic sampling ensures that appropriate numbers are drawn from homogeneous subsets of the population. Cluster sampling, it's compile of a stratified group, a cluster, sample, and then subsample that set. It goes into a lot of definitions that I think will help you. One of the ones that I love is the snowballing. Um, in its the non-probability sampling, but it's a snowball sampling. And the snowball sampling is you interview some individuals and then they give you other individuals. And the example they give you of that one has to do with a group of students that they interviewed for marijuana use, for smoking weed. And they did the ones that were used frequently and those who were just social smokers. But what they did was they got names. It was like going, hey, Johnny, do you know anybody else? And Johnny gives you Mary Sue, and Mary Sue gives you Leanne, and it just kind of snowballs. I love that. We use that in police work all the time. It can be really nothing more than a purposeful conversation, and we'll talk more about that because that's in chapter 8. And in chapter 8, when you look at chapter 8 is the qualitative interviewing. When you go into qualitative interviewing, it starts right off with the definitions. A qualitative interview is an interaction between an interviewer and a respondent where the interviewer has a general plan of inquiry, including topics to be covered. The interviewer might not have a specific set of questions to be asked in particular order. It might not. It can be thought of as a purposeful conversation. And it allows researchers to study more um, complex process or hows involving humans' perspectives. Human perspective is so important. I want you to remember that we, as you grow older, your life experiences change you, and that cumulative information and your perspective of things, those are really important. And those are the things that allows you on that research for qualitative interviewing is to get their perspectives. We have different perspectives on a lot of things. We're brought up differently. People who have lived experiences, it's important. It's we need to understand that. Um, and we have to understand how people feel about their roles and their identities. Um, as you go through this, I will talk to you about key features of qualitative interviewing. One of them is richness, meaning, and shared cultural views. I love speaking to people about their cultural views because it's a whole new world for me. It's so interesting, and I never ever not take the opportunity to do that. A purposeful conversation. I always wonder if I offend people by asking, but how do you know if you don't ask? Uh, thank God we have Google because, quite frankly, I get to go Google a lot of things that I may sound stupid asking. I never really worry about that, but it's really important for me to understand other people's cultural background. So, as we end this week, I'm hoping that the PowerPoints will help you. I'm hoping if you have any questions, you'll call me. or you send me a text. That's the easiest way to do that. It's 413-883-3537. Again, 413-883-3537. If this helped you, I hope. If it doesn't, um, let me know what I can do. Hope you have a good week. Bye-bye.